Alright, so where are we? We are in the Director of Sports for University of Technology Jamaica's office. And we're here with Odayne Richards, Odayne Fred Richards, many times national champion shot putter, national record holder, and recently the world championship bronze medalist in the shot put. We're also here with Coach Linval Swaby, who has been Odayne's coach since when, Mr. Swaby?
08.
From?
08.
Okay, from 08, let me echo that so that the camera can pick it up. From 2008?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just an interview, you know, just to catch up on what they have been doing over the last couple of seasons. I have been a part of Mr. Swaby's program from 2009 to 2014, so I have an understanding of, you know, some of his basic philosophies and so forth, and it's just an enlightenment interview per se, as well as to get some insights on Mr. Swaby's perspective on training and so forth, and what and you know, to see where Odayne thinks he can, or how far he thinks he can go in this thing called shot put. Okay, so Mr. Swaby, can you give us a background on how you started out in the sport? And who were your mentors?
And where are you doing with that?
I mean, just give us a brief rundown from the 1920s, you know, come up.
Yeah, well,
you were national record holder, yes, in the discus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, to be honest, I personally started throwing in 84.
In 84?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Coach Stephen Francis was the first, was started coaching me. And then from that, in 85,
yeah,
86, I had the British Champs record.
What was it this time?
It was 55 meters or something.
Yeah, with 1.6?
No man, class 2.
Class 2, okay.
Class 2 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
To do the 1K.
Okay.
And then after that, 87, win champs. No, I came third at champs that year. And then 88 I win. I didn't break the record. From that to get a scholarship. But I win character games also.
Okay.
And then left.
Yeah.
To study at Blaine College.
That's senior university. That's
University.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Where, you know, I had the opportunity, I had the privilege, I would say, to work with, you know, to actually see Randy Barnes and
Randy Barnes?
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that when I was here, man.
Well, I had that, you know, I was grateful for that.
Yeah.
You know, so I did have a little understanding of, you know, things, but getting in coaching is something I always try to avoid, because I didn't think that, you know, I had what it takes. I didn't even know what it takes, but I just didn't like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and but for some way or another, it just so happened that, you know, while I was trying to run away from it, it ended up catch up with me, and because I started coaching in 95.
Okay.
You know, where 94, 95, where they came, and 95, right? Where the first person, when I started, went to champs and British champs record, beat the
Monroe throwers, Class and Bernard, or one of those guys.
Real brown skin guy.
Rory Marsh.
Right. You know, so I'm British record them time, so I know that we had a, you know, a little history, you know, a little thing about it. So, but I, you know, I went away, hide away from it again, you know, because I even went to JC to start coaching for a while.
Okay.
You know, when Coach Coombs and, you know, Ferguson. But eventually, I went on a hide.
Yeah.
Because of whatever reason. But in 04, I ended up coming back in it again.
Okay.
And this time was as a full-time coach.
And that was at Woolman's.
That was at Woolman's,
yeah,
right?
Because I can remember you were coaching this guy named Watson.
Stephen Watson,
yeah,
right?
Who could stand through like 45 meters.
Right, and he came on to break the record that year too. Last record that first year. You know, and from that, got a little, then I get a little qualification in it. And from that, there's a little kind of something that opened up in me that there's a lot more to it that I need to know. And then the knowledge I just started to seek it. And
where exactly did you start seeking this knowledge? Like, who were your mentors? What did you do? You read books online, or you spoke to other coaches in the field, or?
I personally didn't. Stephen Francis. Yeah. He was the first person who actually had a lecture series where he actually started trying to upgrade the coaches at University of Technology. Yeah. And he did it for 2 seasons. And I learned a lot from that. And there are some T's that need to be crossed, and with those C's I kind of understand it. And from there, Stephen Francis was again instrumental in a lot of the things and the decision I make, because I look at him as a person who very knowledgeable. Yeah. In a lot of areas. So I tend to lean on him for information that sometimes might seem sketchy to me. Okay. And for some reason or another, it seemed to, whenever he explain, I seem to can relate the things and what he's saying to the sport. And from that, we kind of start to, just take that information and using it. Okay. So you started coaching at Wolmer's full time, you said, in 2004. Right. When did you start coaching UTECH? Okay, I started coaching UTECH in 2005. In 2005? Yeah. Okay. And September 2005. Mm-hmm. Stephen Francis again. Right, because after 2004 season, I wanted to quit because I wasn't being compensated for real. So I was going to quit. Yeah. And he, 04-05 season, so he told me that I shouldn't, and then he was going to try to get me up UTECH, and he was going to try to see if he can supplement my income and stuff like that. Okay. Because of that, it allowed me to stay in the sport a little while longer. So you heard Jamaica and the rest of the world. Stephen Francis is indirectly, at least up to this point, responsible for Odayne Richards, because Mr. Swaby, then Mr. Richards, and I wanted to realize that Mr. Francis is doing a lot behind the scenes, even though most might think he's somewhat of an arrogant person, but highly respected by those who are close to him and those who know him. Okay, so and you started coaching UTECH, you said, in 2005. When you started, what was it like at first? At first, to be honest with you, right? UTECH, when coming into the sport, there wasn't really a lot of senior throwers who was interested in throwing, and then coming to UTECH at that, and locally to UTECH. So if I remember, when Odayne started in 2008, okay, 2009, the 2009, I remember that vividly that the discus record was must 48 or 49 meters. 47. That's a national. That's a collegiate record, right? You mean intercollegiate record, right? Intercol is the local intercollegiate championships, right? And the shot was 16 meters. So from that now, the shot record gone up to over 20 meters, and the disc gone over 60 meters. 60 meters. So we realized that from that, with love and we realized that other coaches know, because it seemed like if one person seemed like them want to get selfish and say, okay, I want this sport for myself. I want to rule the rules for this. Other coaches gonna say, no matter with that. Yeah. And then because of that, no, I want a piece of it too. Yeah. And then we look across, we see Mr. Gayle. Yeah. And we hear about, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson is first, Mr. him first. Yeah, Mr. Gayle and Mr. Wollery, then we realize all the hustle. Yeah. All has been there. And Dr. Jones has all. Dr. Jones, both of them. Yeah. The father and the son. Yeah. So we realize that there's a proliferation, I would want to say.
True.
A Cho's coach who just start to seem like, you know, oh dear Mr. Swaby saying, wow, go take that.
Yeah.
You know, so I with that now, it give us now more of a, you know, respect for one another, but also challenges us to, like, I know that when I just started working at UTECH, there was I don't want to call his name now, but a student who came, and his best was 25 meters
in the discus. Oh,
right, 12 meters in the shot, and we were trying to encourage him to come to the school.
Okay.
Because there was, when we look at the high school level, there was not much more that could reach for or was willing to come to the school.
Here.
You know, now we have people who might get, you know, a little bit further, but we have more people who might be interested in wanting to come, and more people in the high school level where we can start to choose, where we can say, is it possible, you know, we can pick that one or that other one, you know, where, and before that we didn't have that option before.
So initially when you started out in 08, it was difficult from on the recruiting side.
05?
05, UTECH, sorry, yes, 05, it was difficult to recruit.
Very difficult.
Persons to
very difficult to come to 98% of the 99%
want to go abroad. So
you know, and in a way, even myself, I went abroad. You know, and because at that time the coaches or the specialist coaches who was interested in throwing, you know, they weren't here.
True.
You know, so because of that, the athletes can just go where they are, wherever the coach are there, they'll go. You know, and so we couldn't blame them either. You know, so now we have a choice. They have choices where they can choose to go.
GC, Foster,
UTECH, yeah, so they can. So now that's where we want to be, where the choices are there, where the athletes can choose to go somewhere.
Okay. So, Fred, big champ, can you give us a background and what's your story? How did you get involved in the sports? I realize, I think you usually play rugby or something like that, and you were a goalkeeper at one point. Yeah, could you give us a background on that?
Well, background to sport overall, I started way back when I was about 9 or 10 years old. Started to play football for Glasgow.
Okay.
I was selected at that point to be the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And because of that, I transitioned to Haaaaard Football Club, where I played for a number of years. Graduated from Vars, went to St. George's College.
Yeah.
Stopped playing football, was not satisfied with my situation, and went into cadet. Then
cadet?
Yeah. Then I went and started to play rugby. And then I was invited at that time, this is now 5th form. I was invited, leaving 5th form, going to 6th form by Dr. Odayne Richards, a former thrower of St. George's College, to throw. You know, he saw me, he thought I was had the size and the speed and the athleticism to the throws. And then,
just let you know how things intertwine.
Yeah.
Dr. Enselwood, what he was referring to.
Yeah.
When I was working earlier in the 90s, I met Enselwood when he was a toddler going to St. George's. Yeah, and this is before he actually started throwing, before he represented that. I said to him, because he came and visit, he and his friend came to visit the friend's mom. And I said to him that, hey, you look like a thrower. I think you should take up the sport and do it. And he actually went and did it.
Yeah. And then
eventually he turned around
and invited Fred to
do it.
Okay.
That's how I'm
interesting.
I like that.
Good history.
Yeah.
Okay, so and he invited you to throw, and then what did he do from there?
Well, I started to train. Did both at St. George's College, both rugby and shot put and discus.
Yeah.
But my first year, they said I should stick to the discus.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was not progressing as fast as I should.
In the shot.
In the shot.
Yeah.
First year was very amazing to me because
first year was in 2006 or 7?
2006.
2006, okay.
So started first. I can remember it vividly. I remember up to the day before my first track meet, which was JC track meet in 2006.
And you were how old at this time? About
2006.
You were how old at this time?
I was about
16. See, okay.
16 or about. I remember I'd only known how to stand through.
So about 07, 06, 07. Yeah.
Well, somewhere in about December. So I make it 17 in December.
Okay.
So the January.
Oh,
so
you turned 17 and then January. Okay. Hence why you just started in class 1, first year 1.
First year 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, so you actually started at an age that others, especially in Europe or even America, elsewhere in the world, would consider it to be a very late age to start to learn the discipline.
It's moderately late.
Yeah.
Other throwers I know started at around about my age.
Okay.
In like Tom Walsh, although he was exposed to it earlier, he didn't really take it seriously until about age 16.
Okay.
Gerd Kanter also started a little bit there.
Gerd Kanter?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. I think he started at about 14.
14.
Right.
Alright, that's not bad.
So I remember vividly that Friday I was standing about 36 meters. And
this is with a 1.75.
Right.
Okay.
The class 1 weight. And I had to meet the following day.
Yeah.
And I heard about the distances that others were throwing, but it didn't really, it wasn't motivating. Anyways, turned up the following morning and competed and through 41.
41, stand through.
Right. So that was amazing to me at JC track meet, and then from there I started to progress through the season. I believe I learned the rotation, and I think I ended that season with about 44.
About 44?
About 44.
Okay.
That champs, I believe I came placed 6th.
6th, okay, that's in the discus.
In the final.
Okay.
And follow through to the following year was a total different season. At that time was gliding with the shot. Playing rugby, I picked up a knee injury, which caused me not to be able to load the right leg as a glider would.
Yeah.
So it was suggested at that time, Dr. Odayne Richards had decided to further his studies and he moved on abroad. So I was left under the tutelage of Coach Douglas and Coach Powell and Coach France Ford. France Ford was also a former player of St. George's College. He himself didn't quite understand much at the time about the technique, but together he decided to try and get me as strong as he possibly could, and then help me where he could.
He's much more advanced now though,
much more. And he recommended that I try the rotation. And at that time I was throwing about 15 meters with the 13 pound. And my first rotation, it was 16-10.
Whoa.
First ever. Picking up the shot first time, 16-10.
16.
And at that time I didn't have any composure. So
wild, reckless.
No, in terms of my nerves, I couldn't control.
Oh, okay.
I got excited pretty quickly. So I was really excited about it. And then what made matters worse at the time, in training that session, was that it was so amazing that every call, the coaches, Coach Powell, and for some strange reason, I was probably too nervous that I could replicate the throw.
Oh, okay.
But I knew from there that it was
something
possible.
was there.
Right. So went to the track meets, I started doing well, started dominating the high school level for those who were in high school.
At that time.
But you had Raymond Brown, who was just outside of high school and looking to further his studies at the collegiate level. But he had the age, so he was in my age group.
He was a junior even though he was in college.
Right. So he was throwing about 18 meters with the shot at that time and about 51 meters.
With the junior weights.
With the junior weight.
Yeah, 51.
And went to Carter trials. I did my personal best with the 13 pound, which was 16:69. And went to champs.
Yeah.
Had a horrible performance in the discus.
Yeah.
I tried to break the record. I think it was Sheriff Small record.
Sheriff Small.
Right. And fouled out. So came dead last in my last year. And went to the national trials. Now by this time I was on my own. I think Franz Ford went on to work. It was the summer. And
this is what year? This is 2000.
2007.
And 7, okay.
Right. So for the better part of the summer I was training by myself. Every day getting the key, going to the gym, gym work by myself and so forth. But I was practicing the discus mostly. And that year at the national trial I threw 53 meters, 53.12, which was centimeters away from the national record at that time, which I ended up beating Raymond Brown 49 I think, and made the Sao Paulo team
to go to Pan American Games
championships in Sao Paulo, Brazil that year. And, that is where I learned that the world was much bigger and a lot more.
Pan American Games, because they have the US guys down there.
Right.
Those guys are putting out 58 meters in the discus, 60, 18, 19.
They had a guy named Luke Bryant.
Yeah.
He was throwing about 68 meters.
In the discus?
1.75.
Jesus.
And to me, I thought I was king of the world with 53. Anyway, so it was a new environment, a new experience. I wasn't coached. I was just raw material at that time. I went and saw the food, didn't eat it because it was not familiar to me. I ate only, I think, bread and vegetable for the duration of that meat. Strength level, I think, went down somewhat. And I did not quite understand, the competitiveness of that level.
Oh, there,
Right, because in Jamaica at that time, I could stand through and make the final.
The finals, yeah.
So I thought I could do that at that level.
So you actually went to Pan American Games and stand through.
Right.
That's the discus.
The discus.
Red.
I think I stand through probably about 40 something, but for some strange reason, I didn't think it was measured.
Oh.
I just remember the guy taking up the disc and running back.
And they didn't measure it?
NQ, man.
NQ.
I don't think you don't have a qualification.